Did you know that there was a woman Buffalo Soldier? I didn't know that. Let's talk about it. Welcome to the channel. I'm Colette Elizabeth, and in honor of Armed Forces Day, and this episode of Teach Our Own History, we're going to discuss Cathay Williams. Stick around to the end of the video and find out a little something extra. Cathay Williams was born in September 1844. Some people say possibly 1842, in Independence, Missouri, to a free man and an enslaved woman, making her legal status follow her mother, that of an enslaved person. According to the National Association of Black Military Women, Cathay Williams enlisted in the U.S. Regular Army in St. Louis, Missouri on November 15, 1866, making her the first African American female soldier to enlist with the Army. She is the only documented Black woman to serve in the Army in the 19th century. She stood about 5'9", so she was pretty tall. And because of the prohibition against women serving in the military, when asked her name, Cathay Williams responded, William Cathay. Only two others are known to have been aware of Cathay's true gender. This included her cousin and a friend. Both of them were fellow soldiers in her regiment. Cathay was assigned to Company A of the 38th Infantry, a Buffalo Soldiers unit, and was stationed at Jefferson's Barracks, Missouri. Cathay, also known as William Cathay, is the only known Black female soldier to be a part of the Buffalo Soldiers. Isn't that something? Let's talk a little bit about the Buffalo Soldiers. The Buffalo Soldiers were an United States Army regiments formed in 1866 to serve on the American frontier. It was primarily comprised of African Americans. The Buffalo Soldiers had 2 cavalry and 4 infantry regiments. They helped the United States become a vast continental nation and ultimately a world power. Now, there's some differences as to how they got the nickname Buffalo Soldiers. Some people say that the Native Americans called them the Buffalo Soldiers because of their curly, coily hair. Others say that it was because of the coats that they wore made of buffalo skin. So there's some different things going on about how they got the name Buffalo Soldiers. Anyway, back to Cathay. There is a possibility that she might have served in the Civil War. And we say this because there was a soldier named Phineas Cathay that enlisted in the 32nd Missouri Infantry as early as 1862 and participated in most of the major campaigns in the West, including the Siege of Vicksburg and Sherman's March to the Sea, as well as helped force Joseph E. Johnson's last Confederate Army into surrender in North Carolina. Now, this unit's history parallels many of the wartime stories told of Cathay Williams, including its presence in Washington, D.C. at the final Grand Review on May 24th, 1865. Shortly after enlisting in the U.S. Army, Cathay contracted smallpox. As a result of the effects of the smallpox, Cathay's health began to decline. In addition, her body just began to show signs of strain due to all the marching and such. During a hospitalization, and she had a number of them, the surgeon discovered Cathay's true gender, for which she was eventually discharged from the military. In her post-military career, Williams headed to Fort Union in New Mexico Territory with her original name to work as a cook. She married briefly, and there's some stuff that happened around that. They say he stole from her, and so he was put in jail, her husband, her ex-husband. Anyway, she also worked as a seamstress and a laundress under the name Kate Williams in Pueblo, Colorado, where her mother ran an orphanage in Trinidad, Colorado. A St. Louis reporter had been hearing all these rumors about the first Black woman to serve in the Army. And in the January 2nd, 1876 edition of the St. Louis Daily Times, Williams became a headline when her story was published. Shortly after being denied disability compensation, Cathay Williams died in 1863 in Trinidad, Colorado. In 2018, the private Cathay Williams Monument bench was unveiled on the Walk of Honor at the National Infantry Museum. And I want to say there's a bust of her that was also made. I think that was done in 2016. So she has been recognized as a woman that served in the Army, and she served as a Buffalo soldier. Cathay is one of many Black women who have served in the military since pre-colonial days here in the US. Their commitment, their dedication, and their example have paved the way for other African American women to serve in the US Armed Forces. For information about other Black women who served in the US Armed Forces, I encourage you to visit the National Association of Black Military Women's website. I have placed the link to NAEMW's website, as well as other sources that I use for this video, in the description box below. And now for that bonus that I talked about. Some of you may know this, but I just want to share it. The character Cuffy, played by actress Danielle Detweiler in the 2021 movie The Harder They Fall, was inspired by who? Yes, Cathay Williams. And I cannot tell you how many times I have watched this film. I just love it. I may watch it again today when I'm done with this episode. As I have said in prior episodes, and I will continue to say it, it is our responsibility to teach our own history. I challenge you to teach your children, your grandchildren, the neighborhood children, your real nieces, your play nephews, our history. And these videos are not meant to be an exhaustive research on the individuals that we cover. It's meant to spark conversation, spark interest, and perhaps even encourage you or your children to do some reports on them, to do your own research, and just to learn about who we are as a people. Until the next time, like, share, subscribe, and comment. And thank you for watching.